welcome to another vlog. Today I'm in a different location. It's rather exciting because I'm back in Paris. It was actually a really unexpected trip. I know it must seem strange that I'm here all the time, but I have something official I have to do on Monday, and I found out last Monday, so a week in advance I had to pull together this whole trip. And I came here on Friday, so like 4 or 5 days after I found out. Friday morning I came, which was yesterday, and I met up with all my old friends from Paris because maybe some of you don't know, but I did an exchange here, so it was lovely to, I had lunch with one friend at her apartment, then I went out rock climbing with my friends, and then I went out for drinks, and it was fun. It was a really good day, but I'm here for the whole weekend, so it's going to be nice to go around and do things that I miss doing when I used to live here. And yes, Monday I have the official thing I have to do. But the rest of the weekend I'm completely free, so it's great, and I leave on Tuesday morning, so I have quite a lot of time here, and I'm really lucky because one of my friends is letting me stay in her apartment while I'm here. Otherwise I've not been able to come at such late notice, so it was really kind of her. She's prepared everything so nicely, and it's just, I'm very grateful because otherwise I would have been in a very sticky situation. But yes, it's so nice to be back. I'm ready, and she lives just outside of Paris. I'm about to go and get the train into the centre, have some breakfast because I am starving, and I don't know what I'm going to do, probably a little bit of shopping and go to some museums, but I will take you along with me and show you beautiful Paris because I'm sure you missed it from my vlogs just as much as I've been missing it, and I just can't wait to, yeah, start the weekend. I've just had breakfast at Paul's Bakery. When I lived here, Paul's was one of my favourites. It's one that's really good quality but not too expensive, because like La Durée or Angelina's are really pricey. So I went to Paul's. I had a pain au chocolat, a café espresso, and like a freshly squeezed orange juice, which they don't do in England either, so that was really nice to have. And now I'm headed to the other side of the river because basically there's this makeup brand that doesn't supply to England called Yolaine Paris. So I'm going to Le Bon Marché, which is the south side of the river, to go and get some products there because I want to try out some new things they have out. And obviously the most beautiful walk en route, passing the Louvre. It's just a dream to be back. I missed it so much. Also, while I was at Paul's Bakery, I picked up a galette des rois because basically yesterday was the 6th of January, which is Epiphany, and in France they celebrate that by having a tart, like a pastry that's filled with a frangipane filling, and there's like a little fève, which is a token that you find inside, and you're supposed to share it with friends, and whoever gets the fève is the king or the queen and has a crown to wear. And since it's the celebration, I thought I need to pick up the local dessert that they eat for that day, so I have that, and I'll be eating that later and showing you what it looks like because it's quite a quirky and cute tradition that I love. So yeah, it's quite a coincidence that I'm here at the same time as the celebration. so I just got back to the apartment that I'm staying at, and I had a really great day actually. I was alone, but it's nice to just have time to be alone. I really value time to just, I don't know, be quiet and think and take in my environment and just, I don't know, be at peace. So I spent the day just walking around. I didn't want to have anything big planned, like to go to a museum or anything, because I just wanted to savour being here, walk around the streets along the river and just really soak in the atmosphere of Paris. And it was a really good day. I went to an amazing restaurant which I can't remember the name of. I'll put the name somewhere above now so you can see what it is. But it's in a really cute spot with a lovely view on like a classic Parisian style street, and it's nice and quiet because it's quite a narrow road, so there's not many cars that go by. And I had a French onion soup, which is obviously very traditional, that's why I chose it. And it was actually really good because I've tried some in the past where it was basically just filled with bread and cheese, and it's so heavy and a bit too much. I prefer lighter soup, and the one there had a little bit of bread and cheese on the top, but most of the soup was just normal soup, so it was actually really good and more the kind of thing that I enjoy. And yes, it was nice to just sit there and read, because I brought a book with me because I always have a book in my bag, and yes, just enjoy the view, do a bit of people watching, you know. And then I did a little bit of shopping and walking around because there are some things that I can't buy in England, and I've ordered them in the past, but obviously ordering from France to England costs so much, so I thought I would stock up on a few bits while I'm here. So I'll show you what I got. So the first thing I did was I went to Sephora because they don't have Sephora in England, and there are some skincare products that I wanted to get that, again, like I said, just cost so much to order, but if you get them here it's cheaper. So I've got a cleanser by the brand N, because they have really natural facial products, and this is really good. I love this cleanser. It's in a nice glass bottle, and it's just, I feel like their products always work well for me, and it's important for me to use natural things, and it's nice because it comes with a little cloth to clean your face with. And I also got some supplements there, because there are some that I take to help with acne, and yes, they didn't have, so I have Balance and Glow and Pure Glow, but they didn't have French Glow, so I bought these two anyway because it's nice to have those. And then I went to Bon Marché, which is a department store, really old one, so it's really pretty. I love the old big department stores in Paris because they're so beautiful. I go there to look at the whatever I'm looking for, and I just get distracted and stand looking at the building because, I mean, I guess I'm an architecture student, so that's normal that I always get distracted by the architecture. But I got a few bits there. So I got a moisturiser by Audacité. Or actually it's a Californian brand, even though it's got an accent, so I said it in a French accent, but there you go. And it's the Green Smoothie Moisturiser, because in the past, whenever I tried to use something to hydrate my face, like a moisturiser, it always gave me acne because it just clogged my pores, and I don't know, I couldn't use anything. And then I got a tester of this one day at a shop in Paris, and I've never been able to find this in England, but I got a tester and I tried it, and it didn't give me acne. It's not oily at all. It's really nice and fresh and light, and it smells like cucumber, so it's really nice on your skin. And yes, I use this to moisturise, so I picked up one of these. And then there are some new products that have come out by Yolène Paris recently, and I love her lip mousses. I think I've shown them in previous videos, and she's come out with eye makeup recently, so she like did a skip. She did a lip range, and now she's got an eye range. So I picked up a mascara and an eyeliner by her brand. And I never really wear eyeliner, but for a long time I've wanted to experiment with it, so I thought it'd be cool to try out her one because it looked quite good in the images. And yes, play around with eyeliner because I like classic looks where there's not really much makeup, but just like a nice red lipstick and eyeliner. I think it's so classy, so I really want to try that out, and we'll see how her mascara is. Mine is running out anyway, so it was a good opportunity to try out my new brand. And while I was there, they also had a section in Bon Marché where they had products by the brand Santa Maria Novella. And for those of you who watch my Florence vlogs, they're a shop in Florence that does skincare, really natural and traditional. It's really old. I can't remember how old it is now, but it's, yeah, it says here 1221, so there you go. Since the medieval times, they've had this shop there that does pharmaceutical products and things like that, but now it's more so perfumes and soaps, skincare, and I've heard from many people that the rose water is really good for you, for your face and skin, and so many people have recommended this, so I really wanted to try it out, and I regretted that I didn't buy it while I was there. So I got it now because I saw it and I was like, oh, I have the opportunity to buy it. And the bottle just has a normal lid, but then they give you a little spray pump that you can put in the top, which is quite good because for travelling you can close it normally and then you have this. So those are the things I picked up from Le Bon Marché. And then the last thing that I got, so today's been quite a shopping haul if I'm honest, but I had to stop at Rouge because it's one of my favourite clothes stores ever, but they don't have it in England, they have a shop in Paris. And I love that when you go they always give you a really pretty tote bag to put what you bought in, so I love this one, it's just so beautiful. And I got a beautiful dress, oh my gosh. I think, yes, I filmed when I was in the dressing room, I tried on 2 dresses. And one of them was floral and one of them was black, and I ended up choosing the black one because the floral one was nice, but I don't think it was as flattering on me the way it was cut, whereas this one is really beautiful. It just has a really nice figure, it really creates an hourglass waistline, and I just love the material because the top bit, I'll bring it a bit closer so you can see. This bit is velvet with beautiful red roses on it, and then here it's more of a satin, and it's got this print of flowers and leaves. I don't know if the camera even picks it up, but it's so, the way it's made is so detailed and beautiful, and I love this dress. And I don't have like a classic black dress, so I thought that this is quite a nice one for parties or going out somewhere fancy. It's just, yes, I really loved it when I tried it on, so I was happy to find that. And that is the last thing that I got. So I did quite a bit of shopping, but I always do when I come to Paris because I have better shops than in England. So that is my haul. And now for the food part, I mean, just one thing, but you saw that I went to Paul's for breakfast, and I picked up a galette des rois, which they put in this really adorable little bag with a picture of a galette on it. And like I explained earlier in the vlog, it's basically pie with frangipane inside, but there's a little fève as well. And whoever finds the fève in the galette gets to wear the crown and be the king or queen of the celebration. Normally we eat this with loads of people, but I'm here alone and I haven't got anyone to eat it with. But I mean, I'll just have a little bit as I go along. If there's any left over, I'll take it back to England. But I wanted to have some while I was here, so I had to buy the whole the whole galette. Don't judge me for that. But yeah, when I find the fève, I'll show you. I know this is cheating a bit because I'm not having a competition with people to win it, but I want the fève and I want some galette, so I got the galette, and I'll show you when I find it inside. But yeah, that's my haul for today. It was a fun day, and tomorrow I'm planning to do some more fun things, like actual sightseeing, because there's a few museums I didn't get around to visiting when I lived here. There is the Musée de la Mode, so the fashion museum, which I really want to go to, and then there's another one, the Musée Gustave, what's it called? Musée Gustave Moreau, I think it's called, which has art and stuff, and I'm thinking I'll go to one on Sunday and one on Monday. I'm not sure which one I'll go to tomorrow. And then I also researched, and there's some brocante and vide-grenier tomorrow, so I might stop and have a look around there. They're basically like antiques fairs. I don't know if I'll be able to buy anything because obviously it's a bit awkward trying to bring in my suitcase back to England, something I buy in an antiques market, but I always love looking around. So it'll be fun to film that and show you what they're like, because that's quite traditional in France. But yeah, that was my day, and I'm excited for the rest of my time here. Now, I mean, it's not that late, it's only about 7 o'clock, but I'm going to do some work in the apartment and just chill because I'm really tired because of my lack of sleep and also just walking all day. So that's the plan for today, but I will check in with you later. Good morning, it's the next day and I'm really excited to head out. I've decided I'm going to go to the fashion museum first today, and I need to actually go and get the train now because I'm going to miss it otherwise. But before I go, I just want to show you the galette des rois because I had some for breakfast, and I'll show you what it looks like. So basically the inside, I don't know if the camera will focus on it, looks like this, where it's got the frangipane filling. And then I actually found the fève. So the fève looks like this. And this one is really cute because it's got a little galette on a plate, and I just think it's so sweet. And you can get all sorts of fèves because I know they just have like white plain ceramic circular ones that just have the name of the bakery on, or you can get all different little animals, figurines. Harry Potter characters. It's like the list is endless, and I just find it so cute how they have this tradition here. So I thought I would show it to you because I didn't know about it until I lived here, so it's really nice to learn new traditions. But yes, on that note, I'm going to head out now before I miss my train. So I've had to make a slight change of plan because I just arrived at the Palais Galliera, which is the fashion museum, but I found out upon arriving that it's fully booked and you can't enter unless you already have a ticket, and I didn't realise it would be like that, so I can't go. So I'm going to have to find another museum to go to, but it's fine because there's so many in Paris, I'm sure I'll find another one. It's just a little bit annoying because it took forever to get here, but oh well, that's life.
The Musée Yves Saint Laurent, located in the 16th arrondissement of Paris, not far from the Eiffel Tower, is set in Yves Saint Laurent's former haute couture house and is the perfect place for anyone who loves fashion to immerse themselves in the icon's work and learn more about his history and his impact on the world of fashion. Within the museum, there is an impressive collection of clothes, ranging from dresses, coats and suits to jewellery and gloves, and each piece is truly a work of art in its own right. I love being able to see art in real life as opposed to just in photos, and seeing the level of detail put into each dress was incredible. Not only that, but seeing Yves Saint Laurent's work beside his sketches and videos of him at work in his studio really put into perspective his genius and gives visitors an insight into his creative mind. His fashion label, created in 1962, aimed to help women find confidence by making clothing both more comfortable and elegant, and many of his designs have left a lasting impact, such as his iconic Le Smoking tuxedo and safari-inspired jackets, which brought a masculine silhouette to women's fashion. Yves Saint Laurent was also responsible for bringing popularity to ready-to-wear fashion lines, with the intention of making fashion more affordable and attainable for the general public. In fact, his prêt-à-porter line was the first of its kind in Paris, and it was immediately a great success. The famous actress Catherine Deneuve was his first customer at his first Rive Gauche shop, and he later went on to make costumes for many of her iconic films, including Belle de Jour, Heartbeat and Mississippi Mermaid. A highlight of the museum for me was seeing Yves Saint Laurent's original studio, which was filled with rolls of fabric, sketches and swatches, and just felt like such a creative space. While I was there was an exhibition on called Gold that explored the influence of this colour on his designs. From the bold buttons on his blazers to shimmering dresses studded with jewels, it was interesting to see just how prominent this colour is in his work. Yves Saint Laurent himself said, "I love gold, it's a magical colour. When reflecting a woman, it's the colour of the sun," which I think is a beautiful way of looking at it. Whether it was through lace, brocade, sequins or embroidery, his designs always seemed to sparkle, and he was much inspired by the party culture in Paris at the time, during the Palace Club years and that festive era, and wanted to make suitably extravagant outfits that couldn't fail to dazzle. I really enjoyed discovering this museum, so if you are interested in fashion, then I would definitely recommend a visit to the Musée Yves Saint Laurent during your next trip to Paris.
Yeah, so I've just come out of the Yves Saint Laurent Museum, and now I'm walking along the Seine with the view of the Eiffel Tower. I really missed that being part of my daily skyline, and it was so amazing because the place where the museum is used to be his couture studio, so I can see his actual studio, and they had an exhibition that was themed around gold with lots of clothes and like information about him and his life, because he was born in Algeria and later in his life he had a house in Morocco, in Marrakesh, which gave him lots of inspiration. So it was interesting to see that link between his clothes and his life, and I learned a lot, so it was really fun. It's already 1:20 and I still haven't had a coffee yet today, so I'm going to go to Angelina's for a croissant and a coffee, because I always have one like multiple in the morning, so the fact that I've survived this long is surprising, but it's definitely much needed now, so I'm going to head there and yes, have a little break.
They are enemies. Don't you tell them yes, tell them get lost. Cause every time you go and ask for help, they say sorry but I'm busy. So you
to Angelina's, there was a really long queue to go in and I couldn't be bothered to queue for ages, so what I did was I got my croissant to take away and I'm sitting in Jardin des Tuileries, so I've just got a lovely view of the park and I've got my coffee and I'm happy.
Hold up, baby, don't take it. In a friendship, if they just fake it, you don't need to put up with their bullshit. Tell them no, 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 no. Hold up, baby, don't stress it. It ain't worth it, and you won't miss it. You don't need to put up with their bullshit. Tell them no, 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 no. They don't have respect for your boundaries. Girl, you hit too close to the edge now. Only thing they got is toxicity. Think you need a cleanse, clear the shit out. You got the bags, but they ain't got yours. You've done enough, but they still want more. You've been a good friend down to the core. Oh, oh.
So it's the evening now, I'm back at the apartment I'm staying at, and it was a really good day today because I started the day at the museum. You saw the problem that I had. I went to the fashion museum, but they said that it was full and if you didn't have a booked ticket you can enter, and I didn't know it'd be like that. I'm actually surprised at how busy it is in Paris at the moment because I thought that at the beginning of January, after New Year's, I don't know, I didn't think there'd be many tourists. I thought Christmas holidays would be busy, but now not so much. But I'm shocked at how congested it is everywhere. It's really difficult to move around and get on the metro, go to museums, because there's just so many people. Even when I went to Angelina's later in the day, there was a massive queue that went all the way down the path, and I just thought, I'm not going to queue to sit inside. So that's why I got the takeaway to have at the Jardin des Tuileries, which anyway was beautiful because the weather is quite nice at the moment, so it's nice to sit and enjoy the gardens because there are beautiful gardens in Paris. But I was lucky that as I was walking away from the museum thinking, where do I go now, there was a sign that said Musée Yves Saint Laurent, so Yves Saint Laurent Museum, and it was like just down the road, so I thought, why not? I haven't been to that one yet, and I'm so glad that I went because I have actually seen there's a film about Yves Saint Laurent which I really enjoyed, a French film. I'll link the name of the film down below for anyone who's interested in watching it. It's really interesting. It's about his life and it's a really good film. It's well done. So I knew a bit about him already and like his most famous pieces and his background, but I really got to learn a lot more about him at the museum and to see his studio in real life and everything. Oh, it's so inspiring. I love seeing creative spaces like artist houses, going to visit them in their studios, and fashion is an art when it's about high fashion and couture, so it was really fascinating to walk around and see it and to learn about him. For example, I just find this story so cute, but as a child, Yves Saint Laurent, when he lived in Algeria, he had these like paper cut out figures of women that he would make clothes for, like paper clothes. So he was already a fashion designer as a child, making little paper dresses for them, and he worked for Dior before he created his own brand for Christian Dior. He worked as kind of like his apprentice, I guess. Like Christian Dior taught him everything he knew when he worked for him, and then when Dior died, Yves Saint Laurent took over, and it's amazing to just see his journey, and he's one of the most influential fashion designers that lived. So it was, yes, I really enjoyed it, and I guess Paris is, you know, the city of fashion, so it makes sense to go somewhere like that. So I feel like it's not as well known a museum because when you search online things to do in Paris it doesn't pop up, but if you're interested in fashion I would definitely recommend that museum because I enjoyed it. And it's not too big either because I know sometimes museums can be a bit overwhelming because there's just so much to see, but that one is a perfect size to just get a bit of learning and inspiration in the day but not to feel too tired at the end of the day. And afterwards, yes, I just walked along the Seine, went to a brocante, and I'll show you what I got. I only got one thing because, like I said, I can't buy like lots of china or something because I can't take it in my suitcase. But I saw this beautiful silk scarf and I just loved it. It's so pretty. It's kind of inspired by French gardens, I think, because it's got the little design that imitates a French garden, and it's just so beautiful. And along the edges as well, it's got little statues. I don't know if you can see them. But when I just saw this, I thought it was so beautiful. I can imagine wearing this in the spring and summer with like a white dress, and this just to make it a bit fancier, and it's so beautiful. And yes, I really like it. It says that it's Christian Dior, and I'm assuming that the lady who's selling it was legitimate. So that's, yes, a coincidence actually, Dior themed day, partially.
But yes, I just saw the pattern and thought it was beautiful. And I love scarves like this because there's so much you can do with them. Like I like to have a ponytail and tie my hair up with that, or just wear it as a neck scarf, or even as a top when it's really hot in the summer. If you wear a really pretty skirt and then a scarf top, I think that it looks really beautiful as well. So yes, I got that at the brocante. And I had some dinner afterwards. I went to this little restaurant that I just stumbled across because I was quite tired by the end of the day and didn't want to walk around too much looking for somewhere to eat. So it was the first place that looked quite good. I went in and I had confit de canard, which is like a duck with potatoes and salad, and it was quite good, yeah. I wouldn't say it's the best restaurant I've been to in Paris, but I was too tired to look for somewhere good, so I just went to the first place I saw and it was okay. And yeah, now I'm going to do some work in the evening. Tomorrow is my last full day here because I leave on Tuesday morning. So tomorrow I will probably go to another museum and I will take you along with me, depending on where I go. I'm not sure yet. I'm normally quite spontaneous with where I decide to go, so we'll see what the day brings. But I'm also lucky with the weather because when I looked at the forecast before coming here, it said it was going to rain all day every day, and I thought, oh no, because it's just so annoying having to walk around in the rain. I feel so much happier when the weather's nice, and I think yesterday and today, both days, for a few minutes there was a very light drizzle, but not enough to pull out your umbrella or anything. So I'm actually lucky with the day because for the majority of the day the weather has been really good yesterday and today. So yes, that's nice. And it's been a good trip so far. It's so nice to be back. Whenever I come back I just feel like I'm at home again. So yes, I'm enjoying it. That's all for today, and I'll check in with you tomorrow.
The Musée Gustave Moreau is an art gallery located in the 9th arrondissement of Paris, dedicated to the art of the symbolist painter Gustave Moreau. I was not familiar with the artist prior to visiting the museum, so I really appreciated the opportunity to discover and learn more about his work. Moreau lived in Paris between 1826 to 1898 and was one of the most influential painters of the symbolist movement, which peaked in the 1890s. During his lifetime, he produced over 15,000 paintings, watercolours and drawings, and he is most celebrated for giving traditional biblical and mythological subjects a fresh perspective, thus giving them a newfound appreciation. His travels in Italy in 1841 and later from 1857 to 1859 were highly influential on his art, and he returned with hundreds of copies and studies of well-known original paintings, for example Botticelli's The Birth of Venus. These trips inspired him to pursue a career as an artist and shaped his subject choice for much of his later work. In his townhouse in Paris, his family home, which is today this museum dedicated to his work, his father converted the top floor into a studio for Moreau. I particularly liked the fact that visitors to the museum can see his original apartments and get a feel of where the artist lived in his creative space. In order to get a sense of his style, I feel that this quote by Jean Lorraine sums it up well. A visionary like none other, he made the land of dreams his own, but from madness of his dreams a sense of anguish and despair found its way into his works. A master sorcerer, he cast a spell over his period, enthralled his contemporaries, and brought a tinge of idealism to the sceptical and practical fin de siècle.
So today has been a really fun day. Sorry I haven't really vlogged myself throughout the day because it's been raining for most of the day and it was really windy, so it's hard to hold my umbrella and the camera and try to talk, and you probably wouldn't have heard me over all that noise anyway. But this morning I had that official business that I came to Paris for, and that lasted until midday, past midday, so half the day was spent doing that anyway. And then afterwards I went to the Musée Gustave Moreau, and I really enjoyed that because I hadn't heard of the artist Gustave Moreau before, but I was really impressed with his art. And the museum is my favourite type of museum because it's very small and intimate, and it's set in his house, so it's got his old apartment and then an exhibition space, and it was just so beautiful because I prefer museums like that one to just plain white cold museums where there's just art in big empty rooms. I like ones that have a character to them, and when you go to the artist's house you get a real sense of his character, what inspired him, and even like looking out the window thinking this is the view he looked at and how that impacted him and his art, and I just loved it. It was a really good museum. It's in the 9th arrondissement. So it was actually not far from where I used to live, so I'm surprised I never went there when I lived here, but I hadn't heard of it. But then since moving back to England I heard about it, so I added it to my list of places to visit, and I'm really glad I did. I would highly recommend going. And as a student or if you're under the age of 26, I got in for free, so that's always a benefit, because it's nice to have places to go to when you visit other countries that will not max out your budget. So yes, it was really good because it was free, beautiful museum and quite small, so I mean a lot of art. The walls are covered in art, beautiful gallery walls, but not many rooms, so it was not overwhelming, great size to look around, beautiful art. And like I said, I've never heard of Gustave Moreau before, so now I need to research him more and get to know more about him and his life, because it's inspired me after seeing his work. And his work is very unique actually. It's quite dark. I'm guessing it's got some sort of link to, I don't know, his state of mind at the time probably, because artists express themselves through their art, so the dark images probably represent something, but I'll need to research it to know more about it. But that was really fun. And I also had a nice lunch because I went to a restaurant that I've always wanted to try out but never had the opportunity to. It was on Rue des Martyrs. Again, I can't remember the name, but I'll write it somewhere on the screen now so you can see what it is. Highly recommend. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Again, disappointed I never went there before, but glad I finally got round to it, because they have really good quality food, really traditional as well, and just not a touristy place either. It's very authentic, and that's what I always worry about when I travel. I don't just go into a place that's made for tourists, not the best quality, overpriced. You want to go somewhere that has a real authentic feel, and I would say this is one of those places. I had a blanquette de veau, which is basically a traditional veal stew. It's made in a white sauce and it had mushrooms and carrots, and they serve it with rice, and it was really good, and different from other French foods I would say, but really delicious, and the meat was so soft and it melted in my mouth. It was really yummy. So it was nice to have lunch there, and it wasn't far from the museum. And then I just walked around a bit. I went to Montmartre and around the Sacré-Cœur and Place du Tertre, that area, because that was one of my favourite spots. It was nice to just walk around and have a skyline view of Paris. And yeah, that was my day really. It went quite fast because, like I said, half the day was spent doing other things, but overall it's been a good day. I also stopped at my favourite bakery from when I lived here, Le Pain Retrouvé, which is also on Rue des Martyrs, and I picked up something which I'm going to eat now as a little dessert, and it's a cuigne amont. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not entirely sure because it's a bit of an awkward pronunciation, and it's a little bit squashed after being in my bag all day, but it looks like this. And it's basically a pastry that comes from Bretagne, or Brittany, and it's made with lots and lots of butter. I think cuigne amont literally means in their like local dialect butter cake or something like that, and it's been named the fattiest pastry in Europe or in the world or something. I think in Europe, the fattiest pastry in Europe. So you can imagine how this tastes. I've actually had one of these before and it's delicious, so that's why I got it now, because I've only had one in my life and I wanted to have it again because the experience needed to be relived. But that's what it looks like, albeit slightly squashed, and I'm going to try it now. It's similar to a croissant, but apparently it's made with yeast, so obviously that makes the taste and texture slightly different. This is the ripped bit of the cuigne amont. As expected, just beautiful.
It basically tastes like a croissant, but the taste is richer. I suppose the butter and the yeast does that. It's just really yummy. So if you're into pastries, I'd recommend trying one of these if you're ever in Paris. Now I'm just going to pack and clean up a bit because I leave really early tomorrow morning. My flight is at 10:30, but obviously need to get to the airport earlier, and it takes over an hour to travel to the airport from where I am, so I'm going to have to wake up super early. But I've had such a good time. I'm so grateful that I was able to come. I've really enjoyed this trip, and I hope you enjoyed following me around Paris again. It's nice to be able to share this beautiful city with you again, and hopefully I will be back more as well in the future. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel to join me in more adventures, and I will see you next time. Bye!